Hello. Thank you for being here. Thanks for tuning in online. My name is Will Fitzgerald. I represent the Career Development Department here at Full Sail University. Specifically, I work with all the game studies programs. So the past 2 days, we've had about 60 students working on a handful of games, which you're about to see. We've got 5 games total. And the only limitation was the theme, where we asked these students to build a game about what inspires them. So specifically, what inspires you? And so let's see what happened. First, I've got Jacob here to represent his game and his team. And the game's name is Minions of Fenrir. And tell us about it, Jacob.
Cool. Well, Minions of Fenrir, you play as Ylva, which is a little Viking. Their village is destroyed by Fenrir, and so she's after him to catch him and destroy him and get her clansmates back.
Cool. And specifically, what about the Vikings and Fenrir and that whole mythology and all, what about that inspires your team? Why did you choose that?
Well, when we started the game jam, it started off as what inspires us, what as individuals inspire us, and then we realized that it was our team that inspired us. So going from the team aspect to a clan, and how the clans always functioned well, and they were always one for the clan, and that's what inspired us.
Cool. Yeah, that's what the Vikings were known for. Okay, awesome. So can we see some gameplay of this?
Yeah, definitely.
There we go.
So this is our web build here. We've got our couple splash screens, just giving a little background to the story. There's our Fenrir, and there's our little Ylva. And there she is. So we've got a couple different items here. We have hazards, which are rocks and walls that just stop the player, knocking them back. We've got eagles and wolves and snakes that you have to chop up or get a void, or just hit them and damage yourself. We've got rune stones, which make you temporarily invincible to everything for about 5 seconds, and then ham to get your health back.
Cool. So what genre of game is this?
It's an infinite runner with, I guess you can say, hack and slash capabilities.
Yeah, that's a cool hybrid. And what's the victory condition?
There's no victory condition technically. It's just get as far as you can. The goal, there's a cumulative score that keeps up with you. So as you run, it just tells you the total distance that you've traveled.
Yeah, that's in the top right.
Yep.
Okay.
And then our stat score.
Nice.
So
Cool.
high score, total distance, how many people you defeated, and then how many times you've died.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for sharing that with us.
That's
Appreciate
awesome.
it,
Yeah.
man.
Thank you.
Cool. So yeah, let's I got a couple more questions, and we'll have you guys ask questions too.
Cool.
So I see X on the top left, so that's the input to jump, to attack. What's that do?
The X is just to back out of the game.
Okay.
The inputs, we didn't have time to actually get them working properly. We were going to just do fade out buttons, so
Okay.
where it says one half of the screen is jump, one half of the screen is attack.
Okay.
Because we have a Android and Windows build for this as well.
Cool. You guys have any questions?
Did you start off with an engine like Unity or just from scratch?
We started with Unity.
Cool.
It's a pretty interesting hybrid. I've never actually seen health in Endless Runner. What led you guys to decide to do a hybrid genre type thing?
We started off doing the Infinite Runner scheme because it fit simply within the spec of time that we had, to be able to get something that was functional and worked properly the way we wanted to. Adding in the attacking was just something, she was a Viking, we needed to throw something in there besides just running in hazards.
Cool.
Cool.
Was there a face in that rock?
Yes, there is a face in the rock.
It looks like Jim
Because-
Morrison or something.
It is the rock.
Oh,
The Rock. Nice. Nice.
I like.
I
how
want to
you-
thank our programmers for that one.
Yeah. I think it's good to use meters. You're thinking internationally,
Nice.
not just bad way of measuring things.
How big was your team?
The team ended up, we had a huge team in the beginning, so we split up into 2.
Smart.
Ours was, let's see, we had about 4 programmers. We traded resources out, so 4 programmers, 3 artists.
Cool.
And then we had, 3 creative writers and 2 game designers.
Awesome.
So I'm curious, what is adjusting the player's position on the screen? Is it started in the center and then moves back? Can you control that yourself?
Actually, that is technically your health.
Okay.
The death condition is leaving the screen. So every time you get hit by an object, you move back and get more and more changing of the color.
Oh, okay.
So that's our way of showing health without actually having a bar.
Interesting.
That's a cool idea.
Yeah. Yeah, and, you know, also, so then as you take more damage as the player, you have more time to react because the further you move back, the quicker you, or, you know, the more time you prepare. Cool.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Very good.
Cool.
All right. Thanks, Jacob. Appreciate it, man. So next to the stage, we'll have Hunter, and he'll come represent Playspiration. And while we get that set up, since I failed to do this earlier, I want to introduce you to the rest of my panel. We've got Grant Shonkweiler, producer at Epic Games. Chance Glasco, you know, one of our Hall of Famers, Call of Duty franchise, a senior animator and all that. Graduated from the computer animation program. And Jameson Durall, that graduated from our game development design program. And yeah, he currently works at Volition as a principal senior designer thing. That.
Should be on.
Are we good? Yeah, there we
Yes.
go. We're
Hello.
good. We're good. Hello, Will.
Glad to have you up here, man.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, panel. People.
Thank you. Welcome.
So tell us a bit about your game, please.
So our game is called Playspiration. When Jameson earlier in the week told us what the theme was, which is what inspires us, the first thing I thought about was Full Sail. People who come here to Full Sail really want to be part of the industry that they choose. So I decided for our game that we should make it Full Sail themed. So we have a simple helicopter game where you fly around collecting different things for the different degree programs here at Full Sail. The end conditions, however, are if you fly up or down out of the screen, you lose. And then there are negative objects in the game like a flat tire, a broken hourglass that symbolize you losing your time here at Full Sail. So that's the end condition. And then we also added it so based off of how many pickups you get and how long you've been playing, you get a grade at the end of the game too.
Cool. Awesome. Well, yeah, let's see it. And yeah, just explain to us more about, you know, the positive and negative things as we encounter.
So if Gilbert would be so kind to start the game in a minute. All right, so here we have our main menu. We added the option of you have 4 different selectable planes for just different colors for right now. We have stats for it, which show you your highest score, your longest playtime, and then your average grade over all of your playthroughs. And then you can even reset the stats if you wanted to.
Cool.
All right, so let's start the game. So here we have Gilbert shows the orange airplane to start off. So to give the player acclimated to the game right away, we gave him about 5 seconds of just fly straight without falling down, so you're not punishing the player right away. Mm-hmm. So as you saw right there, Gilbert hit the top of the clouds, so you just fall out of your dream basically. So in a way, we also have it. So if you click it before the 5 seconds, you'll start falling for people who already know the game. We have a simple spawner that we have 25 different spawn patterns that it randomly chooses from every like 10 or so seconds. So like here we have like the handshake, so you're networking. If Gilbert doesn't lose his dream real quickly again. So yeah, we have about 10 positive objects and 5 negative objects, all representing different portions of Full Sail here. So like we have the graduation cap and scroll. We have a guitar on the bottom.
Ah,
your
game is hard.
Good thing your grades are better than the score you're getting in this game, Gilbert. So one of the things when the panel came actually in yesterday, Jameson came over and looked at our game and was like, "All right, so did you guys think about adding a way into the game to make it very easily discernible whether they're positive and negative just by a quick glance. So the first thing I thought about was, oh, for the negative ones, we'll just add in like a red particle effect behind them. And Jameson immediately said color blindness. So I ended up changing it simply to being just white for the positive ones and then black for the negative ones. So like, yeah, thumbs down for just bad exclamation point where you missed some points on a quiz. Guitar for recording arts, just a smiley face because who doesn't like smiling. Coffee because everybody here loves jet fuel. I love jet fuel, so I wanted a coffee cup was my main thing that I wanted in the game. There's the hourglass I was talking about earlier. Laptops because everyone here gets a MacBook or a PC.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, that's basically our game Playspiration.
Cool. Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Cool.
So the controls are like, are you just moving yourself up and down, or do you have to is it like a Flappy Bird's have to?
No,
it's
like Flappy Bird and helicopter where you're always going down, but while you're holding down the left mouse button, you rise up. As we have the same thing, like with Jake's game earlier, we have both a web build and an Android build.
Cool.
So later on in this weekend, I'll be getting the build from Jake, and then I'll be putting both of them on the Google Play Store.
Cool.
It'd be cool if maybe, for instance, a coffee would make you faster, or the things you're picking up have like a.
That was one of the things that our designer Julie came up with in the beginning, was doing some power up stuff. I plan on iterating on this a little bit more after we're done with our programmers, but I wanted to keep our game extremely simple because I understood that the other team, Jake's team, which we were originally part of his team, had a bigger scope for their game. So one of our programmers, after he got the spawning in for the first spawn pattern, I had him switch over to their game so they can get more features done.
Cool.
Oh no.
I guess that the flat tire really works for your bike, doesn't it? Since it's always broken.
Does do the spawn patterns get more difficult the farther along in the game you get?
Right now we have a list of just 25, and then just randomly choose from them.
Okay.
There's no difficulty necessarily for which ones that it chooses, but some of the later ones in the list are definitely harder.
Cool.
And then if Gilbert actually could play long enough, every 20 seconds it slightly increases the speed of the game up to a cap of twice as fast as it originally was.
Cool. And how many people were on your team?
We had since we were cross team, we had probably about 15 people in total, just doing little things. We had the 3 creative writers, we had another 2 or 3 designers, 3 programmers, 3 artists, and then myself, who was the producer for the game.
Cool. Anything else?
All right.
No? All right, cool.
Sweet.
Thanks, man.
Thanks, guys.
What's up, guys?
Hi, Derek.
Hello.
Welcome.
Welcome. Thank you.
Cool. So this is Derek. His game was a Perpetual Prison project.
Yes.
Did you have? So that's the whole name. Was there a nickname for the game?
Yes, it's called P Cubed.
Yeah.
Is what we're going with the nickname. It's actually our logo. You'll see it when we pull it up.
Cool.
Yeah.
So go ahead and tell us a bit about it, please.
Well, the game started off, we wanted to do something with lenses, because how we viewed our inspiration was you can't always travel on the same path. You have to change your perspective. And we wanted to use that in the game, so we chose an endless runner style and used the idea that you had to shift between levels to keep your health alive for the different colors that you'd be collecting. When we get in the game, I'll explain it a little bit more, but that's the basic concept of it.
Okay, cool.
Yep. And right here is just our title screen. We had more features. It's it's kind of bogged down right now. Something happened to our spawn where it just threw a lot at there. It's supposed to handle that much, but it's not working properly. But the basic idea is you'll see at the top and bottom of the screen the kind of shiny nodes. Those will actually reflect the color that you need to switch into. And when you switch into that world, you'll be able to collect that color palette that's in there. And if you look in the back, this is just kind of a placeholder HUD that we had. We want to change it to where when the world when you start to lose your health, the world starts to desaturate and you start to lose the color and it turns to a gray.
Cool.
We wanted to make that a little more streamlined, but for now we had our placeholder, and you'll see that there's 3 health bars, one that represents red, one that represents blue, and then one that represents yellow. And you had to keep all 3 health bars alive to continue going farther in the game. We do have negative aspects. You'll kind of see them located in the screen. We have our the black objects. If you hit them, they kind of explode, and there's also little objects that come off them that also damage you, and that removes your health to all 3 layers. Yeah, sorry about the whole difficulty of it not running properly, but that's the general idea.
It's a game jam.
Yes.
No worries.
Yes.
No, this is cool. I dig the idea a lot. Do you guys have any questions about their design?
My question is, can you explain again why it's running so slow? Like what was the error that happened?
I don't know. When we had your,
I know obviously you don't know how to fix the bug or it would be fixed, but do you guys kind of have a general idea? I guess.
Well, originally, it started off with all the objects spawned way too quickly.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
When we were doing our build, it was definitely not like that. It started off very gradually with little objects in the coming in slowly, and then as you progress through the level, more and more objects would be coming through. So there it's running a little bit better. Yeah,
A little bit. It's just 8 frames.
Cool. And is this Unreal 4?
yes, this is Unreal 4.
Awesome.
Classic Unreal. 1 frame a second.
So is it the ship hitting the color things at the top and bottom to change to the next color?
Yes. Originally, our idea was basically we would have 3 levels running simultaneously, and you'd have to break through the barrier to go to the levels. But with time constraint, we actually had to use those kind of as spawner nodes that would switch on the certain spawners and switch off the ones that we didn't want coming onto screen. So, and we did represent we had 3 programmers at the time, but only one was working on actual game systems. And he did tremendous work just to get it to switch between the different aspects that we wanted. It was quite impressive, actually.
How many people were on your team?
We had a total of 8. We had 3 artists, 3 programmers. I worked as a producer, and who am I missing? Missing somebody. Oh, yes, music. Oh, yes. We had audio.
Where's that?
Can't hear it now, but there is sounds whenever you hit the things, it does. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I want to see it once you fix the frame rate problem.
Okay, so I guess the only question for me then is, you were using Unreal 4's dedicated 2D toolset.
Actually, this is running in 3D.
Okay.
All objects are 3D, and we're
spinning.
using particle effects in the background to represent movement.
Okay.
And we just use a 2D camera view.
Makes sense.
Cool.
Okay, awesome. Thanks,
Awesome.
man.
Cool.
Yeah.
That name was very like Alan Parsons Project. That's all I could think of the whole time.
I'm sure a lot of people listen to Alan Parsons here. Yeah.
Yeah, especially these young people.
Not even gonna try that. So, Brett, welcome.
Vander Zanden.
Nice. What program are you in?
Game development.
Okay, cool. How close to graduation?
1 more month after this, and then I start final project.
Awesome.
Nice.
Awesome. Cool. So, what's the name of your game?
Our game is called Hot Slots 2002.
Tell us about Hot Slots as we get it set up.
Hot Slots is a slot car racing game. It's top down. It's got some multiplayer. It's got some Mario Kart elements. We decided we wanted some item pickups, so you got some weapons and some speed boost stuff.
Okay. Cool.
How many players?
Well, 4 on the track. I think we can only do 2 players
Cool.
controlled.
Okay. Awesome. What technology did you use?
Well, we didn't use a big engine. We used this thing called Otter 2D. It's just like a framework, I guess.
Okay.
So it's a 2D game.
Cool.
Let's see it. Oh yeah.
It's a very dark game.
Yeah.
Are we allowed to drink these waters?
Yep.
Hey.
Go for it.
You could totally take the water. All right, go on. Tell us more.
All right, so looks like we got a run in here. We can modify laps. We have a bunch of cars. They're just kind of a couple colored selections there. We have 3 tracks that we built in the game. Some of the ideas we threw around that were a little outside of scope. Do you still have it?
No, not with me. Sorry.
All right. So yeah, some of the ideas we had originally, like tossing around, were maybe we'll put a level editor in, or maybe we'll build like an algorithm to build custom random levels. But that was that didn't happen. So we hand built the levels that are in the game, and we got items spawning there. You can see the cars are picking them up.
So what's the input?
So unlike regular classic slot cars that you may play at home or anywhere else, you can hop tracks. So you have one button to go, and left or right to change lanes, and you'll place your items in your lane. So if you have a bomb item and you drop it, it'll be sitting in that lane, and then the next car that comes around in that lane is going to hit it. And we have these missiles that you can fire, so when you fire them, they actually follow the track that you're on, and they'll hit anybody in that lane, and they'll go all the way around the track until they hit something.
Cool.
Nice.
And so the reason we threw 2002 in there, and the whole inspiration with the game, was that we all grew up playing games, sitting around the TV at home. You know, multiplayer was back then was about the, sitting with a couple of people plugged into the TV and that kind of thing, where you, if you lose, you can actually, smack the person right next to you, or fight over it.
Nice.
As opposed to just yelling over the internet, random obscenities. So, 2002, we were probably playing all kinds of fun games back then. So.
Awesome.
Can you only change lanes when there's no lines? Is that how it works? Or can you change lanes at any point?
Yeah, you can change lanes at any point.
So what's the significance of having areas that don't have like the line, where it's just gray?
I don't know why those lines aren't showing up on the screen. There's lines all the way around the track.
See, like on the top, there's
Yeah, I see that. I don't know what that is. Most of the audio is classic style. It's like mostly NES audio. I think a lot of it's Excitebike.
Yeah.
The AI is hardcore.
Yeah. Ruthless ocelot. They look like cars, though. I don't know why.
You might have said this, but how many different types of power-ups are there? Or items overall?
5?
Okay.
We got 5, yeah.
And how many people were on your team?
We had 7, so we were made up of 2 programmers, 3 more programmers, and 2 more programmers.
Nice.
Was your whole team game dev students?
Yeah, we're all game dev. And probably too many programmers for a game, especially of this size, and 24 hours.
How did you handle integrating with that many programmers? Integrating code?
We had a lot of paired programming. So like pretty much after we had like the skeleton running, we had like 2 groups just working on separate things, and it was awesome actually. We were really surprised at how at the end of the first 12 hours we had like 2 teams working on 2 totally separate things, and they actually required information from each other, but since we kind of planned out how things were going to work before we actually got started, once we merged these 2 things together and it worked, we were just like, wow,
Nice.
this worked out well. And so I don't know, we're all pretty proud of what we got done.
Awesome.
Cool.
Yeah, it's solid.
It's really
Cool.
cool.
Any other questions? No? All right. Thanks, man.
Are the other players playable right now, or are they just kind of? Can you actually jump in and do 4 players at this point?
Not 4 player, I think just 2 for now. 2 controllers and 2 AI.
Cool.
All right. Awesome.
Very cool.
Thanks.
Thank you guys.
Can't wait to play all of these. It's gonna be awesome.
Afterward, we're going to walk around and get to play these ourselves. So, cool. Hello, Monique, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, perfect. All right, so I've got Monique with me now I'm going to butcher this name again.
Simulacrum.
Thank you, Simulacrum. So tell us a bit about Simulacrum as they set it up.
Simulacrum is based on the adventures of Private Polly the robot. Private Polly is dropped off in an abandoned mine, and he has to use echoes of himself to build his way up through the level and escape out of the mine.
Cool. Tell us about the team size and composition.
We had 7 people on our team. 2 of us were artists, 1 did audio, and the rest were all programmers.
Awesome.
Yes.
Oh, I was like, is your game about Mad Men? Wow.
All right.
Sweet.
Licensing in 24 hours.
Yeah.
So with Private Polly, the idea behind the game was when we sat down and talked about what inspired us, the thing that we all came up with was that we were inspired by someone who could build themselves up, who could use their own past achievements, their failures to carry themselves on and continue growing as a person, as a professional. So with Private Polly, you have the option to leave an echo of yourself that you can use to build yourself up to the level. And as you progress through the levels, at some point, a shadow of Polly begins following himself, eating this holograms, making it harder for you to work your way through the level.
Sure.
And our thought behind that was, as you're, going through your career, you're always going to have these roadblocks, these things that are getting in your way, but you just have to continually build yourself up, carry on, and do what you have to do to get where you want to be.
Absolutely. That's awesome.
Shadow Polly. Oh, man. Oh.
Is leaving the clones of yourself optional, or does it happen with every jump?
It is optional. You hold down shift. That way you can kind of place where you want to build those bridges.
Okay.
We originally had it set up to where wherever he went, it would follow him as well, but it got to the point where the scene was getting too cluttered. So we made it optional. That way you could pick and choose where you wanted to leave those holograms of yourself.
What made you choose Unreal 4 for this?
Honestly, I just started working in Unreal about a month ago. All of our programmers had just started working in Unreal, and we all wanted to learn the engine a lot better and get some practice using it.
Awesome.
And they were trying to impress Grant.
Good selection. Oh, so close to your dreams.
Setting up the levels for this was pretty interesting, just trying to time out where his jumps were, what the constraints were. Mm-hmm. We didn't want to make it too easy because it is, somewhat of a puzzle game. You have to think about where you're placing those holograms, but we also wanted to make it, somewhat possible to get through the entire level.
Sure.
Is there, I guess it's kind of a follow-up to Jameson's question. Oh, man, I'm getting really excited. Is there a maximum number of shadows you can place? Oh, ooh.
No, there's not a maximum that you can place, but you do have to be careful when playing the game because part of why we left it that way is you can actually block yourself in.
Oh, yeah.
So if you don't think about where you're placing those holograms, you're going to get stuck.
Good job. Good job. That was intense. I was getting really nervous.
Oh, there's a second level?
Oh, yeah.
There are 4 levels that we completed.
Nice.
Cool.
Each one has, a few different things that we added in. Some of the light beams that you see actually slow your character down, so that when you begin to get chased by a shadow Polly, you have more incentive to figure out a way through the level more quickly.
Oh, cool.
Cool. So just in case we don't have time to see it all, go ahead and tell us about the rest of the environmental hazards that may be in future levels.
A few other environmental hazards are electricity. We had broken wiring that was spitting out electricity that also slows you down. Okay. All of our hazards are time-based, so if you go through them, you're not going to take damage per se. They may knock you off to the bottom of the level and make you restart, or they'll simply slow you down so that your shadow is getting closer to you as you go.
Cool.
Can you get stuck underneath your own hologram where you're kind of trapped?
Yes, and that was one thing that we did leave in intentionally. We wanted it to be that you had to think about where those holograms were being placed, so you didn't just hold down the shift key the entire game.
Yeah.
Pretty particles. All done with the power of UE4. I have no shame.
So we're on the final level now.
Let's see where we're. Yes, we
Okay.
are.
Cool.
Oh, yeah. It's like a boss battle.
Yeah.
And this one we did make a little bit harder to get past some of these ledges, which we regretted later playing.
Oh man, I like how you guys really turned it on its head. And now you go left instead of right. Maximum confusion. You got it.
Oh.
Gut wrenching.
Kind of mesmerized.
Yeah.
Are there any plans to do any more with this game?
We were going to add some more levels to it and continue adding different obstacles. One thing that we didn't get around to is we wanted to have rockfall coming from the top of the cave. We just didn't get around to adding it into the game. We had all the assets set up, just didn't have time to actually program everything after we got all of this in as well. So I think we'd all like to finish adding everything in and maybe come up with a few more levels if we have time.
Awesome.
Oh no.
Oh.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome. Cool. Any last questions?
Nope.
No? All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Cool. So, yeah, that was our 5 games. Again, they worked on those from the for the past couple days in one of the classrooms. And, yeah, congratulations to everyone that participated. So I guess that's all. Thanks for coming out. Like I said, afterward, those of you that are present, people come by, play your games. We want to definitely come down, check them out with you. So hang out. And for everyone online, thanks for tuning in. Thank you very much.
Let's play some games.